Welcome to St Helens in Lancashire, the home of the dream for the opening rounds of the 2013 Powerboat GP Championships. Mind you, the tight Carmill circuit is not for the faint-hearted, as Swedish driver Sven Hammer found out last year when his dream turned into a nightmare. The new season brings new boats, new drivers and even a whole new class as Formula 4S makes its debut as the category switches to greener, cleaner four-stroke engines. The headlines, however, will go to the winner of the F2 class, where 9 drivers line up to challenge 2012 champion Malcolm Goodman for his crown, including the winner of last year's Lancashire Grand Prix, Paul Balfour. Paul, this is your home track, isn't it? You like it here?
Yes, it's my own track. Yeah, I've driven here for 16, 17 years now in powerboat racing. It's quite a technical course.
So what's the secret? It's got this really tricky right hand around the dreaded rock.
Yeah, no big secret. It's just the main thing is don't go on the wrong side of the right-hander as you don't come out with the boat. It's got sprint corners, it's got high-speed corners, very technical driving course. You have to be really quick on the buttons and quick on your reactions on this course. It suits a quick getaway. It's a very short start in comparison to most courses. 2 litres, older engines do get away quicker than the Optimaxes. It's just a matter of try and get away quick, keep in front, and I think the wind's going to play a lot into the qualifying. Today it's who's bravest into the wind, into the headwind is going to get pole, I think.
Malcolm, reigning champion, but hold on a minute, third on the grid. Owen Jelf's come back from the Euro Series, he's ahead of you. Steve Holt, little Formula 4 driver, he's ahead of you. What's going on?
Yeah, we've had a few issues again this morning. You know, I don't do it the easy way, I always do it the hard way. Got a few gremlins working now, trying to sort them out, get them sorted out for the race.
Well, best of luck for the race.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And for the rest of the qualifying news, we'll join our race commentator, Jason Mantry.
Owen Jelf was to set pole position then, with the rookie driver Steve Holt in number 40 second on the grid and Malcolm Goodman, the defending champion, third. The 2013 F2 Powerboat season starts here then, and away we go for the first of 3 races of the course of the weekend for round 1 of the Powerboat GP RYA National Championships. And it's a good start then from rookie driver Steve Holt, who storms through into the lead, and that's from second on the grid up to first, and he beat Owen Jelf in boat number 3 up to the first turn. And well, we ride on board with last year's champion Malcolm Goodman, who is having an unhappy time. He qualified third for this race and is dropping back through the field. There is second position man Owen Jelf at the moment. He is the most experienced driver of them all at the moment, and the other experienced driver is his brother Colin Jelf, who's struggling way down the field at the moment. So Malcolm Goodman then trying to catch up with Paul Balfour, who's just ahead of him. Balfour, who actually qualified behind him, 2 spaces in fact on the grid behind Malcolm Goodman, and somehow Goodman has found himself behind boat number 29, Paul Balfour. But Goodman is ever determined to try and get past him. Number 9, Ian Andrews. Also not a very happy qualifying time for him, as Colin Jelf has had a problem then. He's just completely missed that turn, boy. He failed to take the turn and he will be penalised 1 lap for that. Wouldn't expect that from the experienced 3 times world champion, but it's happened. And the consequences will happen, I'm pretty sure, after the race for him. So, back to the race then, and Malcolm Goodman in boat number 1 still hasn't got an answer then for Paul Balfour, who is just ahead as they go up towards the Archers turn. and round the turn, and Goodman tries everything he knows in the book, but it's really struggling just behind number 29 Balfour as he rounds the right-hander. That yellow marker buoy then signifying the right-hander, and that's exactly where there is a rock on that corner. So a tricky racecourse then this here at Carmill. The water conditions a little bit bumpy. There is a gust of wind blowing across the racecourse, which is causing some of the drivers some problems, and there's a driver with a problem, and I think that was Ian Andrews out of the race in boat number 9, the boat in the pits then, so he is out of the race. But Steve Holt then is the leader, the rookie driver, and he's done a few races of testing in this Formula 2 boat. He's a previous Formula 4 driver, but is doing excellently at the moment in Formula 2, and for his first race finds himself out in the lead and goes on then to take the first win of his F2 racing career, with Owen Gell finishing in second position and Paul Balfour third.
Your first ever F2 race, and there you are, a winner.
A winner. Yeah, the start was great.
How's the heartbeat going?
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. That was fantastic. What a fix.
The biggest field of the day is the junior class, which last year was dominated by Ben Jelf. But the two tied second on points behind him have been plotting his downfall. Tegan, runner-up to Ben Jelf last year, but now a new boat to try and beat him. Where's the boat come from?
My dad builds them.
Right. So what's the secret of this boat that's going to make you win?
It's supposed to be better in the wind, but it doesn't seem to be. My dad says he's going to change the prop to see whether we can get it on the line faster.
So Thomas, runner-up last year, now the plan to beat the Jelf with this new boat. Where's this from?
Estonia.
Estonia.
It's a Powerboat built in 2012.
Is it a successful boat then?
Well, it came second, third and fourth in the European Championships, so it can't be doing too bad. I think it's alright.
Ben, a dominant champion last year, but they're ganging up on you. Thomas has been off to Estonia or somewhere to buy a new boat. Are you worried?
Not too worried. I mean, I've got all my sponsors, and especially Peters and May backing me, and it's always fine. But it all comes down to the same hole and the driver. It depends how the driver can handle his boat.
Well, the plan to overthrow Ben Jelf didn't quite work, and Ben did get his pole position, with Thomas Mantrip ending up in second position and Tegan Goodfellow ending up in ninth. So Ben Jelf then finds himself in pole position for this first race of the 2013 Championships, and Thomas Mantrip then struggling to get away then, and Elliot Fleet, the rookie driver, actually getting ahead of Thomas Mantrip, so that boat's still a little bit more set up then, I think, to come from the new boat for Thomas Mantrip. Another driver then also in a new boat then is Tegan Goodfellow. She has a brand new boat built by her father, and that boat then, a lot of development still to come from her, but I think she'll be up there and pretty competitive. They're all trying to beat this man though, Ben Jelf, who's out there in front at the moment in boat number 4, but a good strong fleet then of these GT15 boats, and Elliot Fleet really being the surprise in this race, I think, in boat number 11, right up there, qualifying third on the grid, and is still holding his own in this race, with some strong competition from Jonathan Brewer, who actually qualified in that 4th position. But on board then with Thomas Mantrip, these 15 horsepower 4-stroke engines then that power these boats. You can start racing these from the age of 9 all the way through till you are 16. Then you've got other options, of course, but this is a great way to start powerboat racing as a youngster. So there's a manoeuvre then. Elliot Fleet and Jonathan Brewer. Brewer in boat number 7 and Elliot Fleet in boat number 11 having a good scrap. And watch this manoeuvre, because Brewer gets it tight on the inside and moves up then through the field and passes Elliot Fleet. So the two rookie drivers then really having a good ding-dong between each other. Meanwhile, Thomas Mantrip can see Ben Jelf just ahead of him, but he hasn't quite got enough speed to catch him and pass him. So Jelf looks across to look at the checkered flag, which is waved, and Ben Jelf takes the victory and wins heat number 1, with Thomas Mantrip in 2nd position and Charlotte Newton 3rd, with Jonathan Brewer in 4th position in number 7 and Elliot Fleet 5th.
With 3 heats to run to decide the overall winner, there's still plenty more action to come. So make sure you join us after the break for more Powerboat GP action. Welcome back to Powerboat GP, where the Formula 2 cats are lined up ready for the start of their second heat. Engines off, waiting for the start light to come on.
With the additional entry then of Scott Curtis, who failed to make race number 1, he joins us for race number 2. And away we go then for the start of heat number 2, and up towards the start then, and it's Owen Jelf who takes the lead away from Steve Holt. So the pole position man didn't get up there, and Colin Jelf getting squeezed out then and getting washed out, trying to pick a clean way through the first turn without bumping into anyone, and I think they all just about make it round for the first turn safely. So here we go down the straights. Paul Balfour, a good position for him, as Malcolm Goodman, that must be frustrating for him, finding himself behind a boat he actually won a previous championship with. So Malcolm Goodman, a lot of work cut out for him this weekend. He had a disastrous year at Carmill the season before, and this year it's not looking too hot for Malcolm Goodman either. But Steve Holt, the winner of heat number 1, finding himself in a little bit of traffic at the moment, but Holt is trying to negotiate his way around this tight circuit here at Carmill as we ride on board now with Steve Holt. And there you have a good view of him chasing Owen Jelf. And Scott Curtis then, he's picked his way through the field. This is the young man who started last on the grid. Engine gremlins suffered throughout the testing session and also throughout qualifying, but now he's trying to chase Paul Balfour down and trying to hunt the man who is in front of him. So Paul Balfour in number 29 still ahead as we now watch the race leader. Oh, and now we watch the race leader actually pass Colin Jelf. That must be a bitter blow to Colin Jelf, watching his brother now lap him. And I wouldn't have expected that to have happened, but it has, as Owen Jelf then comes up to take the checkered flag and win heat number 2. So a magnificent drive from Owen Jelf to take first position, with Steve Holt in second and Paul Balfour third.
Can you do it one more time though?
We'll have to see. Steve's very, very quick, so we just have to see how well I do.
With the final Formula 2 race still to come, it's time for more frantic wing-to-wing action with the juniors.
With the additional entry of Thomas Yallop, who joins us for heat number 2 at the end of the grid, we get away from the start for heat 2, and we expect Ben Jelf to be right up there. Yes, he's right there, first round the turn then in boat number 4, with Thomas Mantrip in boat number 12 chasing hard just behind, but Ben Jelf the clear leader, as Jonathan Brewer, who finished in that third position in heat number 1, chasing hard in heat number 2. But you can see the strong competition at the back of the field there. Charlotte Newton, and we now actually watch 3 boats then, both for the Brewers. Lucy Brewer in boat number 6 then, and Jess Beaumont in number 22, actually in a big scrap, fighting it out for their respective positions. But Ben Jelf then having an easy time out in front, so it seems, winning heat number 2. With Thomas Mantrip collecting second position and Charlotte Newton third, with newcomers Jack Pickles and Harvey Smith finishing in 10th and 12th positions.
Jonathan, you're a relative novice to this racing, but you know, you were 4th yesterday, 5th in this heat. It's going quite well, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what, your granddad raced and your dad?
Yep, my dad's racing now as well.
Right. Is it exciting? What's good about powerboat racing?
It's just fun, like, to race everyone.
But now, Lucy, I mean, girl power, what's this young brother of yours doing beating you?
Well, sometimes if you get stuck at the back, I mean, in the first heat, I couldn't get started straight away, my engine stalled. So I was stuck behind everyone, and when you're stuck in the wash, it's really, really hard to get going.
Is this the best thing to do? Don't you want to have a pony to ride round like most girls, or you prefer power?
I really like powerboat racing because it's really good experience. It's really fun, and I made loads of friends being at powerboat racing because you're here with your friends every single weekend, so you really get to know each other.
Can Ben Jelf make it 3 out of 3 for this final race of the juniors? And all the boats then trying to get on the plane. Oh, and someone getting washed out there. Poor Lucy Brewer getting washed out right at the start of the race. But it's important for these small crafts to get up and away and on the plane. as quickly as possible, and that's the advantage of getting out in front. Look at the clear lead then that Ben Jelf has over the rest of the field, and surely this sets Ben Jelf up for making it 3 out of 3. But Thomas Mantrip is there to try and chase hard, along with Charlotte Newton in that third position. She's had a good strong drive all day, and really is one to watch, I think, in further races. Elliot Fleet, the new driver, challenging then Beth Stoneman in boat number 5 as we ride on board with young Tegan Goodfellow in boat number 8. And that new boat, she's getting to grips with it, and it seems to be working for her now. But the race leader, Ben Jelf, out in front at the moment, taking full advantage of the clear water to surely make it a hat-trick of wins, as you can see the wind conditions then making it bounce around. That boat struggling a little bit in the wind. They trap air underneath the boat, and really the drivers have a fight on their hands to wrestle with the wheel, and you can see there Tegan Goodfellow wrestling with the wheel to try and keep her craft upright and the right way up on the water. So Ben Jelf then round the turn and sets himself up for another race victory to add to the many, many, many victories that Ben Jelf has had over his short racing career, as the checkered flag is being readied. And Ben Jelf does make it a hat-trick, 3 out of 3 for the young man, and claims the victory overall for the weekend, with Thomas Mantrip finishing in 2nd overall and Charlotte Newton in 3rd.
It looked a bit tricky around turn 1. You kept almost coming off the plane.
No, it was just where it was getting very windy and rough around there.
Just taking it steady, keeping your lead.
Yeah, taking a nice tight line. It's just right where the tight line is, it's very rough.
Ben Morse then makes history and becomes the first ever winner of the F4S class. The GT30 class was won by Jordan Muckles, who was on top form all day. In the T850 class, Mr. Billy Owen, was hot favourite and won 2 out of the 3 races to become overall victor.
On then to the grand finale, the 3rd Formula 2 catamaran heat, and with 1 win and 1 second place each, Owen Jelf and Steve Holt are level on points. The start is going to be crucial.
The all-important 3rd and final heat then, and they all get away from the start, and Owen Jelf, who was in pole position, and that's a messy start, isn't it, from Colin Jelf, the 3 times world champion, really didn't have anywhere to go, so through the wash and through the spray of everyone there, but a messy start from him nevertheless. But let's talk about the leaders then, and Owen Jelf up there, out in front at the moment, and Steve Holt really struggling at the moment. So as we go up then towards the Archer's turn at the top there, the race leader's already down towards us. Steve Holt, you can see just to the left of the picture how far behind he is, and there he is in fact. Oh, and there's contact. Oh, and Steve Holt then has made contact with Scott Curtis. What happened there? Well, the red flags are brought out, and that's a race stoppage. And let's have a look at this, because Steve Holt, well, Curtis and Holt made contact on the right-hander, and Holt was lucky not to end up on the rocks there. And there you see the onboard footage that, well, there was room, wasn't there, to get round, but there'll be a big argument, I'm sure, on whose fault that was, as we just look at the damage from Curtis's boat. And that's Malcolm Goodman, actually, who looks like he's out of the race with a mechanical problem as we go into the restart then. So the restart, and we go up towards the first turn, but do we make it safely round? The answer is yes, we do. So we're back on again for a race. They're allowed 2 restarts, and hopefully we'll get through this one without another stoppage. And Owen Jelf then has done all the work, and where is Colin Jelf going this time? Because he's gone straight through the turn, boys, and that's with the left-hander part of the race course, and he was squeezed out a little bit by Ian Andrews, and he went through it. He had nowhere else to go apart from through the middle of those 2 turn boys there to mark out the left-hander. So Owen Jelf continues to leave the race now what are we watching here? Because this is Steve Holt and Matt Palfreyman having a good battle, and Holt then has just about got past Matt Palfreyman as they go up towards the Archer's turn. Once again, Holt is round wide at the top there. Palfreyman in a wooden boat comes down towards us. Round the right-hander, and contact again, and that's Steve Holt in another situation, and this time it's Matt Palfreyman who is to make contact with when we ride on board again, and Steve Holt then on the inside, and bang into each other then, and Steve Holt almost lucky then. Well, he was lucky not to end up on the bank there, but both boats then continue, and this man does not continue because Colin Jelf is out of the race, and so is Ian Andrews. So that's 2 more retirements, And out of the race, both of those drivers, both world champions in their own right, both retire from heat number 3 at Carmill. So here is the race leader then, Owen Jelf. He's made it look pretty easy, but I can guarantee you that it's not that easy to drive one of these Formula 2 Optimax 2.5 litre engine boats around this very tight course here at Carmill. But Owen Jelf, he's had over 20 years experience of racing Formula 2s. The Optimax engine is a little less familiar, but nevertheless, he has still had experience in racing one of these powerful outboards on the back of a Formula 2 size boat. So much has changed in powerboat racing since Owen Jelf has started. When he first started racing, there was no such thing as a safety cell, let alone crash boxes or anything else. But powerboat racing is much, much safer experience these days, and Owen Jelf feels quite comfortable in the machinery that he's got. He races in a composite Moldguard hull, and it's all working very, very nicely for him. You can see then the rear view then from Owen Jelf, and no one is behind him. It's almost like there's nobody else in the race, but there are 9 other angry drivers at the start of the race, and some of them have retired, but some of them are still pretty hungry to try and clinch the victory away as we get towards the closing stages of the race. And these two are still scrapping. They are still out for each other. They're still hungry to get past each other, but it is Owen Jelf who is in control of things at the moment and does take the final checkered flag to win heat number 3. And effectively takes the first round of the championships as well. Paul Balfour finishes in second, and after all that scrapping, Matt Proffiman finishes third.
A very clean race out front, no problems.
Yeah, for me in the end. So it makes up for yesterday where I made a mistake. So I'm very pleased to have won the first meeting of the year.
Yeah, congratulations, championship leader.
Thanks very much.
The cruel thing about this sport is that only one driver's dream can come true. This weekend, that driver was Owen Jelf. The question is, can he repeat it when Powerboat GP heads to Suffolk for the Lowestoft Grand Prix? Make sure you join us there.